Hey shipmates, Darren Lewis with Division 7. I've got some great news. On Thursday, Carol Bobo took our Division 7 directory down to Sector to get sent off to the government printing office for printing. So it's great news. I know that there's been lots of interest in getting the 2010 edition into your hands. I get a lot of questions about it. It's a great resource for us. Having the printed member information, the facility information, and everything that's there in the directory really proves to be useful, and it's something that people really like to see. I think it also makes us much more effective as a division. Since we last published the directory in 2009, there's been a new resource put online by the national team that is an online member directory with significantly more functions than our existing e-directory. Most importantly, it also includes member phone numbers. So you can get a fair amount of information about any member in the auxiliary. And in particular, you can look up staff officers at the flotilla or division level, or look at district staff officers and get all the contact information you need to do your job if you're a staff officer, or if you just have a question you need to get to somebody. So without further ado, we're going to do something a little different this week. We are actually going to go online, and I'm going to show you a demonstration of the new auxiliary officer directory. So here's the opening page at auxofficer.cgox.org. That link is given in the blog post that associates with this movie. And before I start, I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to obscure some things that you see in here to protect the privacy of our members. As you know, all this information is protected by the Federal Privacy Act of 1974, and one of the duties we owe our shipmates is keeping this information secure. So when you get here, you'll see that there's a place to enter your auxiliary ID number and your eDirectory password. If you don't currently have an eDirectory password, it's fairly easy to use the link right here to go and get yourself a password, and then come back and you can proceed from there. So we'll just enter my member number and my password. We're going to log on to the directory. And this is the main page you see at first. There are a couple options at the top, search options, and then lists showing first the national level folks, the national level directorates, and then paging down through the various districts, divisions, and flotillas. For our purposes, we're of course most interested in the 13th district, and by this nomenclature, that's District 130. I'm going to click on this. And once I get here, you immediately see that we've got a list of all the divisions and each flotilla within the division. The first column has a series of links. If you click on one of these links, it will give you unit info. So let's scroll down here to our favorite 7th Division. Click on it, and it just gives a little information about the division. The next item would let you click on staff, and it'll give you a staff list for the division, showing all the staff officers. So this is really pretty useful if you're trying to determine, if you're a flotilla staff officer, trying to determine who's next up the chain, and you can do the same thing at the district level as well. Or if you're a division staff officer, this helps you figure out who's serving in those various positions in the flotillas. As I said, I've obscured the confidential member information here. So we've also got the ability to do a list of every member, and here you can click member lists, and you can actually print out a directory for an entire flotilla, the entire division. These email lists allow you to get all the email addresses for the members. I use the plain email address list with comma as my standard one, because that goes into my Gmail application very, very well. I'm going to return to the previous page, and finally I'm going to come up here and I'm going to try search. So you can search by, if you're looking for someone in particular, you can search by their last name, their member number, or an email address. So if I were to search for myself, there are a whole lot of Lewises, so you would see a lot of Lewises. So I'm actually going to use my email address here. Very useful at Gmail. Click find, and you'll see I pop up. I'm going to click on myself. You'll see the kind of information that's given in the member address, the member information page. So address, phone number, the whole 9 yards, my offices, my qualifications, my various email addresses, and my phone numbers. And if you scroll down, you'll also get a look at what qualifications I currently hold and if they're current. currently qualified, as well as some of my test scores from the National Testing Center since 2007. So all our future test scores will show up here, which is kind of nice to keep track and see what's shown up in the system and prove that you've passed classes and tests. So turning back to the previous page, I'm just going to take us back home. So once again, here's the 13th Coast Guard District and the main front page. So you can pretty much find anyone in the auxiliary for any purpose. Please remember, wherever possible, and please use the chain of leadership and management. It's the best way to make sure that your questions get answered in a timely and accurate manner. So that's it for now. As always, be careful out there, be safe, and look to the safety of your shipmates.